What is going on, everybody? Welcome back into the channel. The Jaguars bye week is here. I've got honestly a ton of stuff to talk about, and really, it feels like there's more to talk about when you're losing versus when you're winning. And the Jaguars right now, it's funny because it feels like the sky is falling, but the Jaguars are actually in a pretty good spot. Jaguars are sitting at 4-3. A much better record than probably anybody, even the most optimistic Jaguar fan would have predicted. You look back on the schedule, and 5 out of the 7 opponents that you have played have winning records. So that's one thing. So the Jaguars by no means have been playing any kind of cupcakes to get here. And speaking of cupcakes, there are cupcakes to come. I mean, at the very least, you should expect to beat the Raiders. You should expect to beat the Jets, and you should expect to beat the Titans twice. And that right there should get you to at least 8 victories. And then from there, if the Jaguars can learn how to win at least a couple more, you're probably going to get into the playoffs. Maybe not through the AFC South, and most likely not through the AFC South, but at least for the wild card. So the Jaguars are in a good spot, but the NFL is all about what have you done for me lately, right? 2 weeks ago, we had won the Super Bowl, right? We were 4-1. The previous 2 games, you had went to San Francisco and beat the 49ers. You had beat the Chiefs at home on Monday Night Football. Everything was absolutely awesome, right? It was great. But like I said, it's what have you done for me lately? Last 2 weeks, the Jaguars put up a pathetic performance against the Seahawks. And in that one, I was almost kind of expecting it. The Jaguars were just riding on such a high, and the Seahawks came in so motivated after a very tough loss, and the Jaguars took the L. But there was no excuse against the Rams. No, absolutely no excuse. They went over there and laid a complete egg. And as you look back in the last 2 games, like there's no unit that's playing good right now. The offense has been bad. Defense, all of a sudden, you get no takeaways, only 1 sack the last 2 weeks. And even special teams. I don't think Logan Cook is having his best year. And even Cam Little, I mean, you have 4 out of 7 of your games this year, he has missed kicks. He missed an extra point for the first time in his life this year. I'm talking high school, college, NFL, first time he's ever missed an extra point in his life. And Liam Cohen said they're not bringing in any competition. Not the way I would handle it, but hey, I'm going to let Liam Cohen kind of do his thing. So, and then obviously the whole talk is about Trevor Lawrence. And I haven't been really liking the way Trevor Lawrence has been playing, I'll be honest. Now, I'm going to preface it by saying this because I'm going to have a bunch of critiques about Trevor Lawrence. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is the biggest issue with the Jaguars offense right now. I truly think the biggest issue is the drops. And honestly, the biggest issue is Brian Thomas Jr. right now because he is honestly borderline like benchable. Honestly, like if you're going out there and you're having net negatives for the Jaguars in terms of dropping third down balls and in terms of, you can make a big play, go up and catch it, and you're not catching it, and you're playing afraid. It's one thing if you're on defense to make a mistake on third down because you get to stay on the field through another set of downs and try to take over. It's not the same on offense. On third down, if you drop the ball, you're off the field, and then your offense gets completely out of rhythm. It's not good. So the Brian Thomas Jr. and the drops absolutely need to be stopped. But I'll say problem number 2 for me probably is Trevor Lawrence. I'll be honest with you. There are other issues, offensive line issues, of course. The Jaguars have gone away from the run game. The coaching, honestly, the Jaguars are not a well-coached team right now. And the reason I say that is because, if you have one illegal man downfield penalty in a game, that's shame on the player. If you have multiple illegal men downfield, multiple alignment penalties, that's on coaching. That's shame on coaching. So that 100% needs to be fixed. But Trevor, here are some of my issues with Trevor. First of all, he's just not seeing the guys that are like wide open downfield. Like there's so many times where you look back and look and a guy's wide open and for some reason he doesn't throw to them. I also have issues with his football IQ. And I believe that Trevor Lawrence, I believe he's a smart person. Like I guarantee you when he goes into an offensive meeting room, he can go in there and break down the film, say, okay, this is cover 4 shell, go into all the, different football terminologies. But when the ball is snapped and he drops back and he's scanning the field, I don't think he's comfortable. I don't think he's a smart quarterback. And one thing that's bothered me, like, because there's all kinds of defenses about Trevor Lawrence, and I understand it, but there's two things for me. One, it's like missing the wide open guy. I mean, also when you throw to the wide open guy, like, sometimes it's just off target, like put those on the money. But there's two plays that really bothered me in the last couple of games. It's been when he's flushed out of the pocket and he's running and he knows he's not going to throw it. Like, he just runs out of bounds for loss. I'm like, that kind of stuff right there to me is absolutely inexcusable. I think last week against the Seahawks, he took like a 5 or 6 yard loss because instead of just easily, and it wasn't like he was pressured, like he could have easily just dumped it downfield. Instead, he takes a net negative and just runs out of bounds for a 5 or 6 yard loss. This last game, it was only a 1 yard loss, but it's like, bro, look at where the boundary is and throw it out of bounds. And you've even had a couple times this year where he's been beyond the line of scrimmage and tried to throw it. I mean, he has thrown it. And there's been times where it's like, 2, 3, like he's been grossly in front of the line of scrimmage and thrown it. So he's not playing smart football right now. And will I get better? Potentially. I do have belief that he can be a great quarterback. It's just those are the kind of things that are really driving me nuts. Another low IQ thing that he's doing is going up to the line of scrimmage with like 3 or 4 left on the play clock and then changing the play. Like, dude, you can't change the play right there. Like you don't have enough time left. So there are certain things like that honestly drive me a little bit nuts. And I also the consistency, he'll disappear for a few drives and then come back and play well. And I give him credit because when there's been game situations where he's had the ball last and needs to either get a touchdown, get a first down, whatever, he's been able to get it done. That KC drive was spectacular that he had. You even look at had a game-winning drive against the Texans. You even look at the 49ers game, need a first down, he gets it. So there's certain things like that are good, but it's just him disappearing, and those are just the main things. Like, and I'm not saying bench him. Like, I don't want people to misconstrue this, and I of course did the preface, and there's going to be people coming in here now slowly. I'm not saying that Trevor Lawrence is the biggest problem with this offense, but I don't think that he is necessarily helping us get out of the funk. That's all I'm saying. I still believe in the guy. I'm still hoping that he's the guy. I still want him to be starting throughout the season. I don't think the Jaguars should make some kind of move, but I wouldn't be mad about next year maybe bringing in a competent backup that can potentially push him to be better. That's kind of the route that I would say. So we'll just have to see. Got a couple super chats. Got Duval's Toilet says 2.37 seconds, by the way. Are you a casual? Look, like I said, the drops, I think, are the primary issue. But there's times where, like, he drops back, there's time, and he doesn't see the receiver. And there's been a lot of sacks that obviously aren't on him. Patrick McCarry has been awful. Walker Little was getting toasted last game. But I'm talking about when he drops back and the opportunity's there, when he's not pressured and there's a guy wide open and he either misses him or throws a ball that's just completely inaccurate. Those are the things I'm faulting him for, because he has to be able to rise above it. And I'll give him, 3 to 4 bad plays per game, because that's what quarterbacks, I think, get. If you're a true, NFL quarterback, they all miss some throws, but you got to be able to hit the layups, and the layups he's just not hitting. Big Jags fan in the building. And what's up with the trying to draw offsides? I don't really know what you mean by that. I know there was one where I think we were trying to draw them off, and didn't we false start? I kind of forget. So I don't know. There's certain issues that I'm hoping that we can fix, but I don't know if we've overachieved where we weren't a true 4-1 team and we're actually more of a 500 team, and we're kind of floating back to that. But man, Trevor Lawrence could take over these games. Honestly, like, there's a bunch of players that need to be play better. Primarily, Brian. I mean, you can't. I think a quarterback can overcome, I think, bad offensive line play a lot easier than they can overcome bad wide receiver play, because offensive line, you can shake somebody, you can redo protection, you can have a running back chip, but if you throw an accurate ball and the receiver just drops it, like that just is what it is. I mean, you see Joe Burrow, he hasn't had a great offensive line, but man, he's got some good receivers, and that's just what it is right now. I want to give a shout out to Sleeper real quick. Sleeper is the sponsor of my life. but more importantly, the sponsor of this channel. They got a bunch of cool stuff over there. If you use promo code UCFJAG, you're going to get a free $20 entry. And what that $20 will do for you, you can throw some money on different player pick'ems. So go on there. Unfortunately, they don't have any Brian Thomas Jr. higher, lower stat lines on how many drops he's going to have, but you can do anytime touchdowns. You can just do essentially what we do every week on Club Jaguar. And before my games, just pick different player stats that you like, go higher or lower, and see if you can, 5 to 10x your money. So shout out to Sleeper. Really do appreciate them. Definitely use promo code UCFJAG. Supporting them supports the channel, and it is really good stuff. And also, guys, if you haven't already, I've been posting a lot on TikTok. So whether you guys have like Instagram, X, Twitter, actually Twitter and X are the same thing, or TikTok, please give me a follow at UCF_Jaguar on all of those handles. Definitely give me a follow, especially on TikTok. I'm trying to post a lot more there, and I think you'll really like my content that I'm putting out over there. So please do me a favor, go follow me over there and watch my last couple of videos. So I want to move on and really talk about Liam Cohen. I think it's a huge week for Liam Cohen right now. Of course, the Jaguars started hot at 4-1. The Jaguars have lost 2 in a row, where offense, defense, special teams were all pretty much dominated the last few games. But right now, I think we're extremely lucky to hit a point where the Jaguars are really, really struggling. But also the Jaguars are 4-3, and they're entering kind of an easier stretch of games here. So it's a really opportune time to regroup, to say, hey, this is what we've done well. We've had certainly some hot, like we've had some of the highest highs we've seen in so long, but we've had some lows. I'm not going to say the lowest lows, because usually the lowest lows come when we're like 2-6 and just we're out of contention, and then we're just playing football to play football. But we've had some lows, especially coming off of the worst game of the year against the Los Angeles Rams, and the 2 worst games of the season when you go back to the Seahawks again. So now, here are some things that I would do if I'm Liam Cohen, and I would focus on. Number 1, we talked about Trevor Lawrence. I'm figuring out how to get Trevor Lawrence going. Figure out what he's doing well, lean into that, and see if you can elevate him. Because we hire Liam Cohen with an eye on, hey, we're going to have him fix Trevor Lawrence, but just there's got to be some things he's doing well. Maybe you got to simplify the offense a little bit. I don't know. And I say simplify the offense, not even just because of Trevor Lawrence, but we're having so many alignment issues. I'm tired of illegal men downfield. Like, it's not only necessarily that Trevor doesn't understand the offense. I'm not sure if anybody truly understands the offense. And even plays where we don't get penalized, sometimes wide receivers are kind of like not even really knowing to play. So I don't know if Liam Cohen's offense is just too complicated for the entire team, but we've got to get back to doing things right. Shout out to Jaguars United in the chat. If I had to guess, Liam wants a guy more like Baker than Trevor. Yeah, and that was one criticism I was thinking about putting down for Trevor, but I don't know if Trevor is truly a guy that players want to rally behind. I don't like saying that, because I don't know Trevor personally, and I don't know anybody who knows Trevor Lawrence personally. So I hate trying to act like I know a guy's personality. I know how other players feel about him. But I mean, Baker Mayfield gets into it, and he's just a high spark energy guy. Is Trevor Lawrence that? I don't know. Does he need to be that? I don't even know about that. But I think if Trevor Lawrence could just go out there and complete the balls and make the right calls, I don't think it matters what he is. But I don't know. Who knows? So number 2, I'm seeing if I'm going to make Travis Hunter the feature of this offense, because I mean, it's time to kind of scrap the Brian Thomas Jr. idea. Maybe give him 3 targets a game, see what he does. But Travis Hunter needs to be the focal point of this offense. They need to get him the ball more than just on bubble screens and more than just on these little gadget plays. Get him the ball downfield. We've seen him catch deep balls. We saw him get the touchdown last week, and it was a little bit meaningless. We see him every time he gets the ball. The yards after the catch is tremendous, always making at least one guy look silly. Travis Hunter, we spent 2 first-round picks on him, so it's time to lower Brian Thomas Jr.'s role and elevate him. That's what I'd be doing. Number 3, we got to make the run game the focal point of the offense again. And the run game wasn't that good against the Seahawks, and it wasn't bad against the Rams. We just went away from it. And what happens when 3 of your first 4 drives you give up touchdowns on? Yeah, generally you abandon the run game a little bit, but the Jaguars need to go back and figure out, okay, what can we do here? And even like, I'm not saying that Etienne needs to be benched by any stretch of the imagination because he doesn't deserve it, but I would love to see a game where Tootin starts and just see if we feed him a little bit what he can look like, because man, he has power, he has speed. I would love just, even over against the Raiders, see what he has against the Raiders. The Jaguars should defeat the Raiders. Give him 15 carries, see what he does. It would just be cool to kind of have a change of pace guy, and maybe we can switch up the carries and stuff. So that's, and you also got to look, is Travis Etienne in the future plans of the Jaguars? I don't know. Maybe, give him another week to just additional rest because, he's getting some mileage. I would just figure out how to get this run game going again. Number 4, I would honestly bench right guard Patrick McCary, put in either Chuma Edoga or hopefully Wyatt Milam if he's healthy. I don't think Wyatt Milam played much right guard in the preseason, but the Jaguars, I mean, when you actually look at the rookie class, they're not really getting any impact outside of Travis Hunter. So, and of course, Ryan Lane on special teams. But, Caleb Ransaw has been, out for the year. Wyatt Milam has been hurt as well. Jenna Monheim stepped in there for a game, but it's time to hold some people accountable. I mean, you haven't held Cam Little accountable. You're not bringing in any competition for him. And I don't know if this is their way of holding people accountable, but they're just getting rid of players that they don't want them. We've seen Luke Fortner leave. I mean, we've seen Tyson Campbell leave. But it's time to, I think, make a move there. He hasn't been good. He commits penalties as well, holding penalties. So I would make a move there. The Jaguars actually have pretty good depth, so it's time to hold some people accountable. That's one thing I would do. Number 5, clean up the penalties. Man, if there's one pre-snap penalty per game, then shame on that player. If there is multiple pre-snap penalties in a game, shame on coaching. There's just been too much when it comes to like pre-game, pre-snap, even like illegal men downfield, just type of penalties that I haven't seen the Jaguars commit much until we got this fun offense. I like the offense, but it's definitely complicated and there's growing pains, and they got to figure out one way or another how to clean this stuff up, because that's what it all comes down to. Number 6, I'm figuring out how to get the pass rush going. It felt like we were getting some good blitzes in here early, but I haven't seen them as much as of late. A lot of people say Josh Hines-Allen has disappeared. Josh Hines-Allen hasn't been doing bad. He's just the only guy that is any threat, so they're double teaming him. And Trayvon Walker hasn't been the same since the club. And outside of Trayvon Walker, we're back to this pass rush unit where nobody really gets anything done. So this is the unit where I'm looking at upgrading if the Jaguars truly want to be buyers at the trade deadline. And we'll see what happens there. Like, I was going through and I was like, man, it'd be nice if the Jaguars could maybe make a trade for a wide receiver, make a trade for this, that. And I'm like, man, like, how many guys are going to be buyers for? And especially at wide receiver, does it make sense to be buyers at wide receivers when we've committed 3 first-round picks in the last 2 years on wide receivers? I don't know, but that's the main thing. You got to get the pass rush going, because the backfield, the secondary isn't doing that bad. It's just there's no pass rush. So, I mean, Sam Darnold and Matt Stafford are just chilling back there making their throws, and they're just completing them. I mean, that's NFL quarterbacks for you, right? You give them time. They're top 32 in the world for a reason. They're gonna pick apart a defense, and that's what the Jaguars are not doing very good right now. And finally, like, how are we going to get Cam Little going? Liam Cohen had a great talk with him. All right, good stuff. All you need is a great talk, and Cam Little is back going. I don't know. For me, I would have got a competition in there. I might have even just messed around and brought 2 guys in and just said, all right, this is an all-out competition. The winner by next Friday gets the roster spot, and you're going to be our kicker coming up. But, what do I know? I mean, we've seen greatness out of Cam Little. I guess we've seen greatness. He's a second-year Jaguar player. We're acting like this is a 10-year veteran and Josh Scobie after having a down year. I would have cut bait with him already, but that take could look pretty stupid here. But he has misses in 4 out of 7 games, and he has critical misses. when you actually go back and look at those. And even last game, he misses a kick when you're down, 14-0. You make that kick and say they score on the next drive. The next one, now they don't want to kick any more field goals. I don't know. It's just it felt like after Cam Little missed that kick, it just felt like game was over. It really did. So I don't know. That just is what it is. But that's mainly why I wanted to really do this show. Big Jags fan says, hit hut every play over and over. Yeah, no, I feel you. So, and yeah, Cam Little could be like a Jason Myers, very well could be. That's what kickers are like. And I wouldn't mind bringing Young Wei Koo in a building and saying, hey, come be the next Jason Myers or whatever. But I mean, that's how kickers go. It's just, if you don't make your kicks, there's only 53 spots on a roster. So who knows? Pete says, I sound crazy. Okay. I apologize. I can't wait for Trevor to make y'all eat y'all's words. And I hope he does. I hope, and I'm being hard on Trevor because he deserves to be hard on him right now. And it's not like me saying I've given up on Trevor. I do believe he can be great, but all I'm saying is hit the layups. All I'm saying is don't make the dumb decisions. Like, I know when you're losing and there's quarterback issues going on, people will come after you, but I'm just, look, I got a Jaguars podcast. I'm going to talk about the Jaguars. I'm going to spread my opinion about the Jaguars. So I'm hoping Trevor can come back, and I'm hoping, most importantly, we can start catching the ball. I'm hoping the offensive line gets better. I'm just hoping, like what is going good on offense right now? Brenton Strange left, and the whole entire offense got broken, completely broken. I mean, look, the Rams lost Puka Nacua. They look just fine, but everything is bad. O-line is playing bad. Wide receivers are dropping the ball. Trevor has been playing very efficient. The Jaguars have gone away from the run game, and the offensive coaching. You have all these penalties. You're going away from the run game. Everything is bad. So, but we're 4-3. Big picture, we're 4-3. We are in a great spot. If the season ended today, the Jaguars are in a playoff. So let's get these W's. Titans Rossi, you owe us 2 victories, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. But appreciate all you guys. I just want to do this quick live stream so I can kind of do it in video format. I don't want to make this too long. Do me a huge favor. Give me a like. And be sure, guys, follow me on TikTok, most importantly, at UCF_Jaguar. You guys all take care. Go Jags.